Welcome to Company Showcase, an advertising feature on HowStreet.com.
I'm Jim Goddard. I'm speaking with Larry Reaugh, CEO and President of American Manganese. Welcome back to the show, Larry.
Good to be here, Jim.
Larry, this market, the coronavirus, do you think it's going to change the way we do business?
It's definitely looking that way. Certainly it's disrupted the way we do business today. But I think there's a few things on the business side, and I'm not saying this is a great thing, but on the business side, I think we're going to see a lot of changes in how we communicate, and it's also going to be a wake-up call for politicians that these things can happen, and how do we prevent that happening in the future. And one of the topics I have is, critical metals, such as, the battery materials and rare earths. That is now becoming a spur in the side of politicians around the world, and certainly in the U.S. They're starting to look at how can we alleviate this. So that includes us in a big way on the battery supply stream. People are beginning to recognize that recycling is one of the ways to alleviate that, and eventually reduce the dependency on mining it. But that I'm starting to see that. We have a lot of communication with in the U.S., and I see some definite trends changing. Definite interest in what we're doing is coming out, and that's both privately and politically. So I see that as a big boon for us moving forward. In the meantime, we're just trying to maintain and keep the company in front of everybody, so that they realize that something I've been talking about forever, the value of the patents is going to be critical and crucial in going forward. You'll start to see that developing more and more and more. And because really, who can offer a total circular economy aside from us? I don't know of anybody that when it comes to recycling lithium-ion batteries, where we don't put anything back into the environment. It's basically we reclaim all of the valuable metals that are involved, like cobalt, nickel, manganese, even aluminum, and certainly the lithium. So that's going to become more predominant as we move ahead. And but just looking at just to sidetrack here a little bit, looking at the market, I said some time ago that this would be a V-shaped market recovery. And I'm seeing that happening now. It's not that it's just going to go straight up. It actually didn't go straight down, but the trend was down, and now the trend seems to be up, barring today. We've had 3 days of up markets, which we haven't had since this market collapsed. And I see that as a positive sign that, people are starting to look at value out there, and now's the time they step in and start buying shares because they've been knocked down anywhere up to 80%. So, we're down 40%, and, it's not a place I like to be, but it does open the book on people that coming into the market and other people that have been stuck with us for all this time, a buying opportunity. And, on Tuesday we had a historical best day ever on the Dow, and when it went up 2,100 points. So, that's another big positive sign. So here we are, struggling along. We 3 days up. When I last looked before the podcast here, 10 or 15 minutes ago, we were down 500 points. I don't know where we'll end up the day, whether we'll drop more or whether we'll flatten out or whether we'll end up. It's still an hour and 2 hours to go on the market, so you can't. In the short term, it's hard to evaluate what the market's going to do. But in the longer term, I think that people can begin to realize that we've hit the bottom. And when I talk about a V shape, it's a jagged V, and it's going to have down days, it's going to have up days, and it's going to have hopefully more continuous up days. And so it's not going to be just a straight line. It wasn't a straight line going down, and it's not going to be a straight line going up. But in my opinion, as humble as that may be, I think that we've hit the worst is behind us as far as the market goes. The coronavirus, I think, would probably start to flatten out here in North America sometime in the next couple of weeks, and maybe less cases will be reported. Certainly that's happening in China, where 80% of the workforce is back at work. And they did we have to take our hat off to them. They did a fantastic job of corralling the virus and getting people back to work. And, I think that's very important. A lot of people are looking out the window wondering what the future holds. So, what's my job going to do? The government can only support us for so long. And this is going to set us back, set the economies back, and all around the world. The economies will set back, like a 3 or 4 month delay in production could take 2 or 3 years to work out. But I think that on some fronts, like the electric vehicle front, that's going to keep plowing ahead. Everything I'm reading about that is more and more positive, and there's certainly a slowdown in the amount of production because manufacturing has been shut down on a lot of the cases. Some of that is going back to work, specifically in China. And, so they're going to be hitting the lines again. Certainly one of the biggest slowdowns there are is the lack of metals that are controlled by China. Basically, the big ones are lithium and cobalt. And that will put a damper on the production of EV cars going forward. But I think they're going to overcome that blockage, and we're going to move on. So I'm looking forward to a good week next week and a good future this year. I think that what I'm seeing and what I'm getting and the calls that we're getting are all very positive for the company moving forward. So that's my brief look at it, Jim. I think the worst is behind us. Certainly the panic, I think, is out of the market, and so when you get rid of the panic, maybe things can can go back to supply and demand, and the economies of being able to buy stocks that were trading at, for an example, on the big board, we're trading at $30 and now trading at $5. That opened up opportunities, and then the venture exchange stocks that were trading at 10 cents to $5 are down 60, 70, 80%, and that creates buying opportunities and more of a contrarian view. But, the contrarians are usually the ones that make most of the money. So I think that we should be looking, not looking in the rear view mirror, but looking in going forward here that prices will increase. So that opportunity will be there for a while, but it won't be there for long. So I'm encouraged, Jim. I have never once had a lot of worry set in about what was going to happen to the company by itself, because everything we've got is solid. And as I can't repeat enough, our patents they'll protect us and put us in front of the herd on really providing a service to the EV car industry and a service to the environment. So I think that we're in good shape for that matter.
Larry, for people new to American Manganese, what's the company all about?
American Manganese is a critical metals company that developed a process for treating very low grades of manganese is going to be much more important in the future, because in reality, the deposits in the U.S. and in Canada are either small and potty or large and very low grade, and we look at the low grade deposits, and we developed a patented process for that. And that process is the cornerstone of our recycling. The only conflicting technologies we had when we filed our first patent was our own on the manganese, and so nobody else was on that track, and we got those in 13 months, and the next ones in about close to 4 months. We had the second patent, and the third patent has been slowed down applying for it, but it's not as critical as that first patent that went out. And we filed for it in 9 different countries, or 7 different countries. So we're in good shape there. The company is traded on the Toronto Venture Exchange under the symbol AMY. It's traded in the U.S. under the symbol AMYZF. It's traded in Frankfurt under the symbol 2AM. We have a website that you can do a lot of, all of your due diligence on, because we're very transparent, at AmericanManganeseInc.com, or you can phone me at 778-574-4444, or email me at LREAUGH@AMYMN.com.
Larry, thanks for the update.
You're welcome, Jim.
I've been speaking with Larry Reaugh, CEO and President of American Manganese. I'm Jim Goddard. Our conversation took place on March 27th.
Comments made on Company Showcase are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any manner whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Archived online at HowStreet.com. Company Showcase is a production of How Street Media Incorporated.